Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of Quran Weekly, where I share with you verses of the Holy Quran that I find inspiring and deeply profound. So the verse that I'd like to share with you guys this week is from Surat Ar-Rum, verse 41, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Corruption has appeared on land and in the sea because of what the hands of men have earned. My dear brothers and sisters, we're all familiar with the injustice, the corruption, and the evil that takes place on land. But the question here is, what does the Holy Quran mean when it refers to corruption in the sea? There are many examples that we can cite to demonstrate the phenomenon of corruption in the sea. For example, the trafficking of persons using sea routes. One prominent example of this was the African slave trade. Another example is the illegal dumping of nuclear waste by Western countries, where they take their nuclear waste and they dump it off of the shores of third world countries, countries like Somalia. You know, we often see movies about Somalian pirates, but how many of us actually know that there are many European nations, many Western nations that illegally dump their nuclear waste off of the coast of countries like Somalia, completely destroying the fish habitat, forcing poor fishermen in Somalia to take on a life of piracy so they can earn a livelihood? Another example is the establishment of naval bases around the world. There's no country in the world that has more military and naval bases than the United States of America. Is this not a form of corruption in the sea? To build naval bases to advance imperialism? A recent example was the Saudi naval blockade, where Saudi Arabia prevented humanitarian aid from reaching millions and millions of Yemenis who are on the brink of death. The use of sodium cyanide in fish habitat, whereby we stun aquatic life, we stun fish to capture them and put them in our aquariums for human amusement. The destruction of marine life off of the coast of Southeast Asia. These are all examples, my dear brothers and sisters, of corruption in the sea. In Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to not only establish justice on land. Justice is not only limited to our activities on land, but rather it should extend. Our sense of compassion, our sense of justice should extend even to the oceans and the seas. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the human being as His representative on earth, and we have to be stewards of His creation and ensure that corruption does not take place on land nor in the sea. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for giving me a few minutes of your time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.